Hello, gardeners. I'm Xandra, here with your happy news. Gardeners, sports are a pretty big part of people's lives around the world, and one of those sports being tennis. But as popular as it may be, all sports generate some kind of waste, and unfortunately, when it comes to tennis balls, that waste could be sitting in our landfills for the next 400 years before it fully decomposes. It takes about 24 different manufacturing steps to make a tennis ball, but despite the process taking about 5 days, the ball has a super short lifespan, only lasting about 9 games. In the U.S. Open, which happened about a month ago, they claimed to use around 70,000 balls for that competition annually, and that's only one competition. Distraught by this fact, one Belgium eco-designer, Mathilde Witkock, decided that she would find some kind of solution. Because she's an eco-designer, her work revolves around seeing materials in a new light as she looks to create with circularity. So now she upcycles tennis balls by turning them into furniture, mostly long benches and pool lounge-like chairs. Using tennis balls as a building medium is not an easy task, and it takes her about 4 weeks to complete one piece. Witkock receives donated tennis balls from local sports clubs, which she then individually cuts, removes logos and branding, and hand dyes each ball to build a chair, which she then sells for around $2,900. Besides furniture, the tennis balls are also pretty good at absorbing sound, so she can make what's called a sound bounce wall, which is basically a big wall lined with these balls, and it can be placed in a room for added noise cancellation. If you're curious as I was to see her designs, you can find her on Instagram at MWO_design. Brian, I just think that this is a really interesting way and maybe even an untapped market for sport ball furniture. I mean, I could see this stuff selling.
Sounds like a lot of work, but it's a fun idea. And I never had any idea there were that many tennis balls used at one tournament.
Me either. I mean, also only 9 games. I would have thought that it was such a short lifespan.
Obviously, I'm not a very good tennis player. My balls can last forever. I don't hit them that way.
Yeah.
But no, that's pretty amazing. I just had no concept of how many tennis balls were used.
Me either.
Well, thank you.
Hello, gardeners. I'm Xandra here with your happy news. Gardeners, there is a new kind of biobattery in development with the intention of allowing farmers to collect precise data about soil conditions with computing equipment, helping them to increase crop yields and conserve resources without having to install expensive and hard-to-maintain energy infrastructure, because this battery will be all powered by bacteria within the soil. A UK tech firm called KTAR developed their batteries back in 2019 to power a water filtration system in Brazil. Since then, they've spent the last 5 years researching and improving upon their bacteria-powered batteries to help farmers find a cheaper and easier way to monitor their crops and maximize their overall yield. The battery is built on soil microbial fuel cells, which capture energy from the natural chemical reactions that occur in soil-based microorganisms. The batteries use that energy to power electrode sensors throughout the soil that track key markers through a computer monitoring program. Other monitoring devices require an external power source, like a solar panel, which is not always a viable option for every farmer. These are designed to be installed and forgotten about, and these soil rechargeable batteries have the potential to work around the clock, require no maintenance, and could last over 25 years. Oh, and they also expect this final product to cost just under $30. KTAR has said they will continue refining its prototypes, and they plan to launch a commercial product in 2026. Brian, what do you think?
Unreal. I mean, really unbelievable. I mean, that's, there's a lot of things we can do to help, our environment, but, we can find natural things to do that really have no detrimental effects. And that's the creativity of the youth and people your generation and all those younger generations that us old folks count on, Xandra. And, that's really an enlightening, wonderful story. And
Thank you.
It's fun to hear things like that and thoughts. And, it's always a matter of thinking out of the box. I mean, from Benjamin Franklin sending out in a lightning storm, just being creative to young people to, making a battery that can work organically in a farm. Pretty wonderful.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Hello, gardeners. I'm Xandra here with your happy news. Gardeners, there are cool things happening in Phoenix, and I don't just mean the cool down in the weather we've received recently. We all know that one thing that definitely doesn't help when it comes to our extreme heat is the blacktop pavement on our roads. But for the past 4 years, one ASU pilot research program has been collecting data on their experimental cool pavement coating, which you may have seen while driving around Phoenix. The lighter colored cool pavement is designed to reflect the sunlight and reduce heat retention, which could help combat the local urban heat island effect we see occur from normal blacktop. The urban heat island effect occurs when heat is collected and retained in the asphalt throughout the day and then released at night, leading to more energy consumption, higher amounts of greenhouse gas emissions, and air pollution. ASU's initial data collection and analysis occurred between 2020 and 2021 across multiple neighborhoods and during varying weather conditions, including rain or shine. They found that the cool pavement could reduce surface temperatures during midday and afternoon hours by up to 12 degrees and 2.4 degrees lower at sunrise. Last year, Phoenix hit their 100-mile mark on applying this cool pavement, and while the experiment may not be perfect yet, like how they found that heavy rainfall can break down the coating, it's still a pilot program in experimentation, so changes could still be made. They have also worked on a second phase of testing using a darker material that has been engineered to reflect an even higher surface reflection. While there's more work to be done, it's exciting to see this technology and have the potential to meet temperature demands of our growing desert. And if anyone has these cool pavements in their neighborhood, I would be really interested to know, have you noticed a difference? Maybe while you're out walking the dog? Brian, what do you think?
Well, I think if you go out and throw an egg on it, it'd be interesting to see where they cook faster, on the regular asphalt or if they cook faster on the lighter asphalt.
That would be very interesting to know.
I think everything that we do, that we work together on, that can possibly help cool, reflect our heat really makes a big difference. But where we're really missing out, especially in the city of Phoenix, is tree canopy. And in most cities, you're trying to hit an ideal point of 25% tree canopy. And it's pretty difficult here with cities when they're raising water rates and they're not basically enabling many of the homeowners to plant more trees and canopies. And what I see as a big miss here with the cities, especially the city of Phoenix, is that we don't have enough tree canopy to cover our streets. And if you ever walk down a street under the row of trees versus a street that doesn't have the coverage, it can be 15 to 20 degrees cooler. And the only thing that actually cools the environment, the one thing as we're working with this asphalt is heat absorption, which stays overnight, which this is a wonderful project, and I'd like to see it expanded and more research. But on the other hand, the only thing that actually cools the air is evapotranspiration, and that comes from water. And how we use our water, like the little report we had from the city of Tempe as part of the news, and how we do things like that to maximize our cooling is going to come from our water and water management. So it's a great thing to keep the heat absorption down overnight so that we're not staying as hot. We have a lot different population here than we did before. But we are living in a place that's been farmed for thousands of years. And the canals were dug by indigenous peoples long before anybody came from Europe. And management of these things with our dams and our water and the big help we have from people like Salt River Project and the CIP are really critical to our life here. Kudos to those guys at ASU, and let's keep it cooler.
Yeah, maybe we need multiple plans together to really get the best result.
It really takes a team, and it takes working together in management. And, and there's going to be a limit sometime on expansion. I got to say, I do wear a farmer hat, and I think agriculture is important to us, and how we manage our irrigation and our farms make a big difference. But, we have to grow food and we have to eat too.
Yep.
So lots of different things that all come together. When we work together as a team, we can certainly get more done.
Hello, gardeners. I'm Xandra here with your happy news. Gardeners, Halloween is right around the corner, and I bet some of you are about to start carving pumpkins if you haven't already. The U.S. produces a lot of pumpkins each year, nearly 2 billion, but only around 1/5 of those are used for food, which means that many of those pumpkins are likely used for festive activities, just for them to be tossed in the trash when Halloween ends. And unfortunately, this is bad for the environment, because when pumpkins decay in a landfill, they release tons of methane greenhouse gases. So instead, here's a few more sustainable ways to dispose of your pumpkin this year, like composting it in your garden. Plus, if you enjoy smashing your pumpkins at the end of the season, it's a great way to prep them for composting while having fun doing it. You can also cook with it, like roasting the seeds in the oven for a tasty snack, or making a fresh pumpkin puree for a pie. Wildlife also loves pumpkins, so you can always leave it out for them to snack on or donate them to a zoo or farm. If you've got chickens at home, they also love eating them. Or you can try making a bird feeder out of your pumpkin by cutting it in half and filling it with bird feed. Now, Brian, imagine making a jack-o'-lantern or pumpkin pie out of the world's record heaviest pumpkin, which belongs to Minnesota grower Travis Geener with a massive 2,749-pound pumpkin, which weighs about as much as a Honda Civic, Brian.
Well, that's First off, Xandra, you may not know it, but I've been a pumpkin grower for many a year, starting as a kid in the backyard, growing commercially down by Wilcox and up in the mountains and things. And so pumpkins are a big thing to me. Now, I've seen a lot of big pumpkins. I've seen a 1,500-pound pumpkin before.
Yeah.
But that is like off the charts. And, a few other fun things I'd recommend for pumpkins is just based on experience. Pumpkin launches and trebuchets are great fun. You can send pumpkins for long distance runs, and once they hit the ground and break, guess what? They don't collect the methane as much.
Very true.
Another thing that pumpkins happens here around the valley quite a bit is javelinas do love them. So unfortunately, many pumpkins are lost to javelinas, but they're excellent cattle feed. And our biggest problem with pumpkins that we've ever experienced. The deer down in Wilcox, we eat a few, and they were never much of a problem. Coyotes eat watermelons, but don't bother pumpkins. But elk, when elk come to your pumpkin patch, life's not good. About 10 years ago, when we first got our farm up in Taylor, the kids and I all went out and planted, about 20 acres of pumpkins by seed. That's a lot of work planting pumpkins by seed, and the way we were doing them, kind of old school. And we had our pumpkins all planted, and they were growing, and they were getting pretty. We were eating some fried green pumpkins, which are really good. And then all of a sudden, one night, the elk came. And the elk ate every pumpkin. They didn't even leave a little piece of orange. About 40 elk came and ate 20 acres of pumpkins in one night. And it was just amazing. So they are a great product. But another thing we might want to remind people is that Phoenix's original name was going to be Pumpkinville.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, so, there's nothing like Halloween, and it's great to see here in festive Halloween attire.
And I guess those elk really thought you planted a buffet for them.
They enjoyed them, but now there's an 8-foot fence, so the elks can't have their pumpkins anymore. We let a couple of deer in, but we have friends.